The topic today is Tantra, the science of spiritual meditation. My name is Dada Rainjitananda. A simple definition of meditation. Meditation means concentrated thinking. So, mind thinks, and that's regular thinking. We are thinking all the time. And sometimes we think with special concentration. And that is a very simple definition of meditation. Now, what's happening is that nowadays there are many types of meditation. There is mindfulness, which is quite well known, and some people say prayer is meditation, means when you pray, that's meditation. There are people who use mantras for meditation, a series of mantras. They may sing the mantras or they may use them in silence, and a variety of mantras. There is Zen meditation. Uh, People are aware of Zen meditation, quiet meditation, long time meditation. There is a Christian meditation, more on the Bible or various types of Christian meditation. So there are so many types of meditation. Today we'll talk about the Tantric style of meditation, and I said it's a spiritual meditation. In this webinar, you can ask questions or make comments using the chat window. There is a chat window in your control panel, and you can use it to ask questions or make comments, or if you want something to be explained again. And from time to time, I look at that window. And in the end, I will also give some time for questions. Continuing, spiritual meditation. What is this spiritual? We are used to physical. It's easy, you can see physical body, the physical world. We come in contact with the physical world through our sensory organs. We touch things, we smell, we see, we hear. So the physical world is clearly understood, and the physical part of the human being also. Now, the mental part. We understand easily the most external parts of the mind, the part of the mind that's connected with the world, the part of the mind that is thinking, the part of the mind that is dreaming. These parts of the mind are easily understood. The conscious, which is the most external one, and the subconscious, which is the more internal one. So we can understand these two well. But the problem is when we think that our whole mind is only these two parts, and many people think that. Now, if we want to go beyond the subconscious, where all the thoughts are, then we need concentration. That's when we need to remove the mind from all those thoughts, concentrate the mind so that it can jump from the subconscious to the unconscious or superconscious parts of the mind. So the mental world is a broad world. It means it's very expanded, much larger than the physical world. But the mental world still has some limitations. And when I say spiritual, something spiritual, it's when something is connected to the infinite. When it's related to the infinite, something infinite, that's the spiritual world. The spiritual world is infinite. And why are we interested in something infinite? We are human beings. Everything we do for a certain purpose. And the bottom line is that we want to obtain some happiness, or we want to obtain peace in everything we do. If we go on holidays and we have no problem for money, we can go anywhere. We will always choose a place where we'll feel good, where we'll feel some happiness, where we'll feel peace. Nobody wants to be disturbed. Nobody wants to be unhappy. If we think how long or how much time or how much happiness, how much time we want to be happy, how much happiness we want, or how much peace we want, how much time we want to have this peace, we will come to the answer that we always want that. And if we always want that, it means something that never ends. If it never ends, it must be infinite. So the human being has this characteristic. We want infinite. Somebody's rich, he wants more. They may think, oh, I want just to be a little bit wealthy. And then you see a millionaire and he wants more and more money. So we have this characteristic in us that we want something infinite. And that's why we want the spiritual. We are not happy. We are not satisfied with the mental. We want to go beyond the mental, and that's the spiritual world. So the tantric meditation is a spiritual meditation. It's a meditation to take you to spirituality, and not just to make the mind calm, to make the mind more relaxed, more concentrated. That's not the goal. That can happen on the way, but the goal is this infinite. Now, what is Tantra? Tantra, let's say the first meaning of Tantra is Tan means expand. Tra liberates. The idea is by expanding, it liberates. Removing all the barriers. As it expands, barriers are broken, removed, and there is expansion. So what Tantra is doing is not direct, directly breaking the barriers, but breaking it as a consequence. By expansion, they break like ice. If you have ice in a tube, and the ice, or I mean, if you have water in a tube and it becomes ice, it expands and it breaks the tube. So, in the same way, Tantra is that process of expansion. As it expands, all the barriers get broken. And where to go? Infinite expansion means removing each and every barrier. Now, what is expanding? Mind. Mind, or let's say individual mind, holds the individual consciousness, or mind reflects the individual consciousness. So let's say that the reflection of the infinite cosmic consciousness in the mind is the individual consciousness. As the mind expands, then the reflection expands. And what's the end of it? Infinite expansion, reaching this cosmic consciousness. So this is an important concept in this meditation, that there is our individual consciousness and there is the cosmic consciousness. What is the relation between cosmic consciousness and individual consciousness? Let's say cosmic consciousness is infinite. Individual consciousness is the reflection of the infinite in the finite mental mirror. And that makes this individual consciousness limited. Now, if this mental mirror is infinite, then the reflection is infinite, and then there will be no difference between individual consciousness and cosmic consciousness. Now let's see the second meaning of Tantra. The second meaning, Tra remains the same. it's liberates. And tan, or better, ta. Ta is the acoustic root of staticity. Tra liberates, so liberates from staticity. What is this staticity? Give you an example. Suppose, okay, now we are having this webinar, and in your mind comes the idea that you want to ask a certain question, but you don't do it. Means you hesitate. Some static force holds you back, does not let you express and ask the question. So that is staticity. And it happens in various situations in life. We want to do something and we hesitate, we don't do it. That staticity holds us. We want to express our potentialities and we don't. We hold it back. So that's staticity. So Tantra is that science, that practice that liberates us from that staticity. Now, this staticity, as I mentioned, is the acoustic root of it is a sound, ta. This sound, ta, is also a, let's say, one of the sounds of the Sanskrit language. Now, the Sanskrit language has various sounds, one of them being this ta. And another thing is, you see the picture of a chakra. This is the third chakra. We are going to talk more about chakras later. So this is the, let's say, a drawing of a chakra. Now, the third chakra controls certain propensities of the mind. And one of these propensities is that ta is here, ta, or staticity. And in my practice of tantric meditation, one of the tasks is to gain control over these chakras, therefore gaining control over these mental propensities. Other examples of mental propensity: desire for acquisition. I'm mentioning those of this third chakra, or infatuation, or hatred, envy. These are propensities that exist in every human being in one degree or another. Now, if we control these propensities, it means that we can act without being influenced by them. It doesn't mean that they disappear completely. We will have some degree of the propensity as long as we are human beings, but we will get some control over it. Means we can do things without being blocked by these propensities. One of these propensities, staticity. Tantra, ta, removes that. Another propensity, fear. Fear also blocks our development. Many things we don't do because of fear. And I know even people who cannot close their eyes to meditate because they fear. Means when they close their eyes, there is so much fear that they have to open it. So that's another propensity. Overcoming fear is also an important part of Tantra. Because the idea is, who or what can possibly give me fear? We are human beings, and we have a connection with the infinite. And if we do that, then there is nothing to fear. how to learn tantric meditation. Everything we study, everything we want to learn, we have a teacher. So the teacher here is called in Sanskrit guru. It means one who removes the darkness of ignorance. Now, what is this darkness? It is that limitation that is covering our mind, is that we can only see the conscious part of the mind and we can see the subconscious, and then there is a coverage of darkness. Now, the guru removes that. Imagine you are in a room and the room is dark, there is no light. You don't see anything. The moment the light is turned on, you see everything. So that is what the guru does. It turns on the light so that you can see. And the second important point, if you have the teacher, you need the student. And the student is the disciple. So this is a very important point in Tantra, in Tantric meditation, is that you need that teacher who is capable of turning on that light, removing the darkness from your mind. And that process where there is some light, the light is turned on, that process is called initiation. It means the beginning, it starts, the initiation. So we make a comparison that the initiation by the guru is like sowing the seeds. And what is the field where you are sowing these seeds? Is the disciple's heart, the student's heart. And then you need to irrigate, prepare the field. And that is the process of sadhana or practice. It means in the initiation you learn and then you have to practice. And why it is said that the field is the heart? Because one very important point in this practice is, let's say, love, or there must be a deep sentiment. You know, we move towards something if we like it. If we don't like it, we move away from it. And if we love something, we think about it all the time and we want to be close to it all the time. If we love somebody, we think about that somebody all the time and we want to be close to it. So that's why this heart part is important in this practice. So in tantric initiation, the process of tantric initiation usually utilizes a mantra. Mantra, what does it do? It puts light on the path. It means it awakens to the spiritual path. So that light. And the same thing, the mantra removes obstacles from the spiritual path. Now, what are these obstacles? Usually, these obstacles are our own past actions. It means what we did in the past action, we get a reaction. So every action, a reaction. But it means I do something, I will get a reaction from that. But this reaction doesn't happen always immediately. So sometimes it remains there, waiting to happen. And when the time is right and the place is right, then it happens. And those reactions, which we call samskaras, they create the obstacles. Therefore, in the process of tantric initiation, it starts to remove the samskaras, means remove the past actions. They need to be exhausted. They need to be removed. And we have to pass through them. Now, when we are passing through these past actions, when the samskaras are coming, if that process is not controlled, then we may be in problem, because maybe too many reactions, too many problems may become in our life, and it may come to a point that is so overwhelming that it can destroy our existence. Therefore, there needs to be a certain control on the flow of exhaustion of the samskaras, and that is taken care by the guru. So the guru plays an important and vital role in Tantra. So tantric meditation is very much dependent on the guru. And the mantra also is powered, means the power behind the mantra is the guru. So mantra is a means, or is an instrument that carries the power of the guru, and helps us removing the obstacles in our spiritual path, and showing where we should move. And what is this mantra? Mantra is basically an idea with a word. So it's a word that carries an idea, carries a vibration. So ideation is very important in the mantra. And what is the ideation that's most powerful? Is that ideation that makes us have love for that supreme entity. So that idea in the mantra, that loving meaning in the mantra is very important. So the mantra must also awaken in us this feeling of love for that infinite entity, or for whatever is taking us towards that infinite entity. Mantra provides the movement in the spiritual path, and mantra has the capacity to awaken our divine consciousness, because we have this divine consciousness within us, but it's sleeping, and that is the Kundalini, divine consciousness within the human structure. Now, the mantra awakens this divine consciousness, awakens this Kundalini. It means it like flashes in our mind the remembrance that of the divine, and that makes us move in the spiritual path. Now, what is this movement in the spiritual path? We may say that there are so many spiritual paths, so many ways, but in fact, the way is only one. Within our spine lie, there are a number of points, chakras, located within a nadi, or a nerve. So these chakras, when we awaken the Kundalini, it will move within the spine, and it will cross these various chakras. I mentioned before about the third chakra, the propensities associated with the third chakra. And there are propensities associated with each and every chakra. There are 7 main chakras. Now, when we awaken the Kundalini, what is that? That's that divine consciousness within us, when we awaken it, it starts moving towards the higher chakras. Now, when it crosses a chakra, it gives us the feeling that we are moving closer to that cosmic goal, to that cosmic consciousness. So, this feeling that we are close to that cosmic being gives us bliss or gives us happiness. So, let's say that we are coming to the first chakra. At that point, we feel that, oh, I'm not alone anymore. That cosmic being is also here. So that's the a first spiritual awakening. It gives tremendous bliss when Kundalini rises, reaches the first chakra, and we get that awareness that, yeah, oh, this cosmic being is here with me. And as we move up, the feelings is that we are getting closer and closer and closer to that cosmic entity, that cosmic being. And so this is creating a change in our mind, because now we are not feeling that this cosmic being is very far, but this cosmic being is coming closer and closer. And as it's coming closer and closer, you feel it more and more. So your sentiment also grows more and more. And so the awakening of Kundalini, you can measure it by the feeling of closeness that you are getting to that supreme being, to that supreme entity. And many people have this idea that it's how much sensation you will get and how much these special effects you will feel. But the bottom line is how much closer you are feeling to that supreme being, to that supreme entity. Now, in this aspect comes again the importance of the guru. So in this tantric meditation, first, it's spiritual, means it's taking you towards something that's not limited, towards something that's infinite. There is much importance of the guru. Why? When I'm thinking about this cosmic consciousness, it is very abstract. It is infinite. It is so great. It's so beyond my mind to think about it. So the tool here is that instead of just thinking about that entity, you can think about someone who reminds you of that entity. And so someone that reminds you of something spiritual. And that someone is the guru. Now, the guru, by just thinking about the guru, you also get the remembrance of the feeling of being close to that cosmic being, to that infinite consciousness. So that's the importance of the guru in Tantra. So now the guru is not only giving you the mantra, which is awakening your Kundalini, guru is also making it easier to ideate on that cosmic consciousness, because just by looking, seeing the guru, you are already uh, getting that idea of this cosmic entity. So it plays a very important role. Now, how do we come in contact with a guru? By our desire. We want it, we are looking for it, we are searching for it, and then the guru comes to us, basically. So that is the disciple also is getting ready. Now the guru comes, and that's the moment, ripe moment for tantric initiation. And the tantric initiation, we are getting a mantra. Now this mantra, we have to use it. So we have to keep it always and use it to remind us of the supreme entity, that cosmic consciousness. And the effect is that Kundalini is being awakened, and Kundalini moves up, crossing the various chakras. And it reaches its full expression in the highest chakra. So if our awareness is raised to that highest chakra, then we reach a state we can call nirvana or samadhi. And that's the spiritual goal of the tantric meditation. So now this meditation will have many other effects. Means you will feel more calm, more serene, more capable. All this will be there. But that's kind of side effects that you get. It is not really the final effect or the goal. And we reach depending what is our goal. So if we are doing a different type of meditation, which has a different goal, we may reach that goal of that meditation. So like if our meditation is just to relax, we relax. Once I had a student in a meditation class in New York City, and she came to the first class and she was looking quite disturbed. And she, after the first class, she was a little bit better. She went home. Next week, she came for another class. Well, I told her to practice meditation at home. Next week, she came. She was looking quite much better. And she attended the second class. And the third class, she came. She was looking quite okay. I asked her, "How are you?" She said, "Oh, I'm very well. I'm great. I'm very fine. I can sleep." It means she had come to meditation because she couldn't sleep. And after so many treatments, years and years, she found one doctor. The doctor tried everything and finally told her, try meditation. So she came to the first class. After the first class, she already slept a little bit. After the second one, she could sleep, no problem. She came to the third one. She was feeling great. And she told me she can sleep now. And then she never came back. Her goal was she wants to sleep. So when she managed, so she doesn't need it anymore, and she didn't come anymore. So now our goal in this tantric meditation is not just to feel better or to be more able in our day-to-day life, but it's a very high goal. Means we want to attain that infinite. So you are moving from the limited, from the finite world, which occupies your mind, and you want to occupy your mind with the infinite, with the spiritual. That's why I call this type of meditation spiritual. And why it is a science? Because it utilizes certain instruments that by using them you get an effect. And the effect you can experience in your own mental laboratory. And as you are practicing it, you start experimenting. But we need certain regularity, patience, and not expect too much. It means when we do meditation, we should do without expectation. If we are doing meditation with expectation that I have to feel something, then what will happen is that I will miss what I'm really feeling. And that what I'm really feeling is exactly what I should be feeling, and not that which I'm thinking that I should feel. So sometimes we think, oh, maybe I'm not making progress because I'm not feeling like this. But what you are feeling, if you don't start thinking about what you should feel, but if you just be feeling what you are feeling, then you will enjoy more the meditation. So that's the presentation about tantric meditation. So this idea of the spiritual, the infinite, the idea of the importance of the teacher, the importance of the guru, the importance of that initiation, the importance of mantra, and what is the Kundalini and how it moves towards all the through all these chakras. And that is the real spiritual path. It's when the Kundalini moves from the lowest chakra to the highest chakra within the spine. And that path is the same for every human being. And in the end, there is only one spiritual path. And if we have a practice that can make us move fast in that spiritual path, it's better. Some people have certain practice, you move slower on the spiritual path. And the goal is always this uh, samadhi, or this connection, this merger with the infinite, with the supreme. Okay, so this much as a presentation. I want to take some questions now. So type your questions in the chat window, and I can go over them. The first question is the Kundalini being awakened naturally without meditation? Okay, can the Kundalini be awakened naturally without meditation? Well, I wouldn't say that it cannot happen. I would say it is more rare, more difficult. And I would say that meditation is like a tool. And suppose you have a flat tire, and now you need to change the tire. Then the question can be, do you need the tools to change the tire, or can you change without tools? Certainly, it's much easier to change with the tools, but it's not impossible to change without the tools. Maybe the person is very, very strong and can manage to change without tools. So it's not impossible, but certainly having the tools will make it much easier. Therefore, it is much easier and sure if we have the right tools. So the right tools in this case means you got the right teacher, and you got the right teaching, and you have the right mind, and you do the right practice, so you reach the right goal. So, but I mean, just if I say it is completely impossible, because maybe some individuals already did a lot of work and they are very near, so they might reach the goal. Another question here. Can the Kundalini also drop down if it seems to have been at the higher chakra? Okay, the Kundalini, suppose we are meditating, and during meditation, we get the ideation that can bring the Kundalini up to a certain chakra. Now we stop meditation, so we are not keeping that ideation in the mind anymore, then it will go down. But of course, we have cleared the path, so it's easier later on to bring it up again. So that's why not only we do meditation, those suppose we sit for meditation half an hour, 1 hour in the morning, even 2 hours, And in the evening, we sit again another half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. And then during the day, we keep a different type of ideation. So it's important that we keep the ideation also during the day. So the mantra that is our Ishta mantra, the one that takes to the goal, the Ishta mantra, we keep on repeating it the whole day so that we keep the ideation. Therefore, keeping that the Kundalini elevated because we are keeping the ideation the whole day. So the meditation, the practice is not only those minutes that we are sitting in silence and in deep meditation. It's very important also the whole day to keep the ideation. The next question is, how do you know that you have arrived? Okay, I make it a little bit in a way that if you have doubt, it means you have not arrived. So if there is a doubt, it means you have not arrived. And if you are thinking about that, have I arrived? It means we have not arrived. But that's not a problem because we are moving towards the infinite. So this is the movement towards the infinite is a very long movement. So we have arrived or not arrived, we shouldn't really worry. I remember a story. The story was the disciple came to his guru and asked him when I will arrive, in how many years or how many lifetimes. So that the guru, no, the teacher, the guru told that, see this tree? So there was a very huge tree with thousands and thousands of leaves. So the guru said, as many leaves as there are in this tree, it will take you to, let's say, this much years will take you to reach the goal. And this disciple was very happy, and the other disciple was very sad and asked, why are you happy? It's so many thousands and thousands, it will take so long. The other one said, well, it's thousands and thousands, but it's not unlimited, so it will end. It's limited, so it means I will reach. And he was happy. So now the path is also interesting. And so we can also uh, go through this path, not so much having that expectation that, oh, I reached, I didn't reach. But certainly we will reach. And like it depends also on the guarantee of the guru. The guru guarantees your liberation is a sure guarantee. Therefore, we are going to reach. And sooner or later. And on this movement, we enjoy it. Okay, there is one like a comment. Just to think that I am God cannot make me God. Certainly, it's true, but it depends on the way one is thinking. Because one characteristic of the human mind is as we think, so we become. Now, the problem is you can say, okay, so then if you think of God, then you become God. Okay, that is correct. But are you really thinking of God? That's the question. You may be thinking of something that you think is God. So may become that something, but you will not become the God. So that is the tricky thing here, that you have to be thinking about the right thing so that you become the right thing. But maybe you are just on someone is just on the illusion that I'm thinking of God, but maybe he's thinking about something else, which he or she is thinking is God, but it's not. No. So the right ideation is very important. Now, how do we get this right ideation? How can we think of God? Because we have no idea of it. So there is no way we can thinking about it. So the only way is if God, let's say himself, is showing us how he is, or God himself is making us thinking of him. So that is where a very important point in the tantric practice comes, and that point is grace. So a lot depends on this grace which comes from the God, which can make us thinking about that God without getting lost in our own thoughts or our own ideas of what God is. So that's a very important aspect of the tantric practice, is this grace. And so if really we have the right ideation, then we'll become the result of that ideation. So and having the right ideation, that is the difficulty. And what happens is, usually when we think of something, it gets distorted by our samskaras, or the reactions in potential form that are in our mind. So we are trying to think of something, but that thinking is being distorted by these samskaras. So now, as these samskaras get more and more clear and eliminated, so our thinking is less distorted by it. And by let's say the power of the Shakti created by the Guru, and in where when he's transmitting his grace to us, then we can have the right ideation. So it is, I mean, it's an interesting practice process, and it depends much on our how much closeness we develop with this supreme, this God. And the impersonal God is more difficult to create a relation with. So we make him personal, and we make him personal, and the most personal expression of that God is the Guru, because Guru is, you can relate to, you can talk to, you can go close to, you can relate in a very personal way. So the importance to have the right guru, the tantric guru, is great. Yeah, and it's really supreme grace that we come in connection with a guru. There is another question. What is the proof that all this is not just an imagination? All right. What happens is, many times we think that what we can see and touch and hear, and that is real, because our existence most of the time is sensual, means sensory organs dominating. And so that is what we think is real. And what we are thinking on the day to day, then we think is real. And those thoughts are happening in the subconscious mind, and the action of sensing is happening in the conscious mind. So conscious and subconscious, most of the people exist in those two levels, conscious and subconscious. Now, therefore, for them, spirituality doesn't exist because they can't feel it, they can't see it, because they are using only these two instruments, let's say the conscious part of the mind and the subconscious. So there are religions that are on those levels, conscious and subconscious, and they attract millions of people because millions of people live in those levels. So they are attracted by a religion that is confined to those levels. Now, when you start talking about things that are not understood by those two levels, for those people it doesn't exist. Okay? So the people who will start searching for something that is not confined in those two levels, they are going to discover the spirituality. So usually, to really become spiritual, it's when events happen in life of people, situations happen which force them to leave that normality of the conscious and subconscious mind and search something that is different, that is beyond that, that cannot be explained by the conscious and subconscious thinking. So when the people have that desire that no, there is something more, I'm not satisfied with this, only this, then when they start kind of exercising their mind to reach something more, that's when they start tasting the spiritual world, and it's like you taste it, like you feel it, then you are feeling that, oh yes, now I got some sensation, some proof that there exists more than what I was thinking existed. So that is like the people are just awakening to something that is beyond this conscious and subconscious. So they are going to a level that we call like supramental level of the mind. So they start thinking that that is spirituality. What I'm experiencing now is spirituality. It's like, suppose creativity, their artistic capacities develop, their musical capacities develop, and they feel, yes, I'm touching this flow of spirituality, but that is still just a higher level of the mind. And then if they how to say, go deeper in that level, they can go beyond that. So they go on discovering that the mind was not just what they were thinking, but in the beginning they think that that's spirituality, what they are discovering. But as they go a little bit deeper, they see, oh, there is more. So therefore they are going experimenting more of the mind, and as the mind gets more expanded, going to the deeper levels, it becomes more capable of understanding larger ideas, or more expanded ideas. So then one is moving towards understanding what spirituality really is. So it's a process, and but the majority of the people are in this conscious and subconscious. So because they don't experience anything else, they think that whatever other people are experiencing is something abnormal and is something strange and doesn't really exist, and it's kind of their imagination. And it's very difficult to convince people to go into the spiritual path just by logic, just by intellect. Means you sit with somebody and you try to convince him or her, is usually difficult. Sometimes, if they trust you very much in this and that, they may take a practice if they see that you got benefit from it, and the benefits they initially see are more related to physical. You're more calm, you control yourself more, and you look like a very balanced person. So that may inspire them to start on the spiritual path. But they have no idea what it really is until one starts feeling it. So uh, until it's really experimented or felt, it will always one will always thinking that all that is like imagination, but when one starts really feeling it, then one starts understanding that, oh no, that this is real, this exists. Two more questions. One's about mindfulness. Mindfulness is a very popular meditation today, and particularly kind of the business world is taking it, and because by doing any kind of meditation of concentrated thinking, even if it's not spiritual, we'll get benefited. And if we are getting benefited, then the tendency is to use it. And if people in the business world, they are being benefited, they can do business better, they can be managed better, so it makes it become popular because you are getting immediate result that can be applied in the physical world. And so that makes it popular, but it doesn't mean that it will take one to the goal, but it will give benefits. All right, another question. Is not the highest realization beyond the mind, so we are only going by what others have told us? Mm, Not really, because when one starts practicing, one starts experimenting something. It's like if I tell somebody, the fire is over there, okay? Now, if the person moves in that direction and feels that it's becoming warmer and warmer, the person will think, yes, it's getting warmer, so the fire must be there. Okay? Even if the person is not seeing the fire, but it's getting warmer and warmer. So the person thinks, yes, the fire may be there. But if the person starts moving in that direction and it gets colder, then the person will think, no, it's getting colder, so the fire cannot be in this direction. All right? So it's not that we are just moving by what people say, but there must be that ingredient that you are experiencing something that supports whatever other people tell you. Like, suppose you are being told that certain practice is good, and as you do it, you feel it, then you continue. So it's not just one is moving in a direction because one is told to, but so one needs also to experiment. Okay, it's 9 p.m. here in the East Coast, and that is the time to end our webinar. So thank you for being here, present, making this initiative possible. Thank you for asking all your questions, and I hope you can get some benefit from it, and hope to see you in future webinars. And thank you very much. Good night. Namaskar.